Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. This is Shiv Kumar, and in this video, I'll be showing you for the system setup for the installation of with the Python and Visual Studio Code and few other extensions for you, which will help you while coding the Python programming. And so I don't have any setup, so I don't have any software installed in my system. Currently, I'm going to have a clean installation from the beginning. So first thing, you try to have two required softwares. One is going to be your Python, and the other one is going to be your Visual Studio Code or either PyCharm. Any one of the thing you can use. So I have few of the links which I have readily with me, and I'll be sharing the same links in the video description as well. So these are the links which I'm gonna share it with you. You can find it in the description of the video. But now you have to download Python. So this will help you to download and install all Python libraries for you. And if you have any custom versions you want to download, and you can download it here for any specific release, or either if you want a latest one, you just download it from here. Yes, it gets downloaded. So, and the next thing is, and a few of the people, if they prefer open sources, they're going to go with the Visual Studio Code. Or if you have any paid one, and if you want to go with any enterprise editions, then you can go with the PyCharm. So there is always a debate between the PyCharm and Visual Studio Code, which one is better. And people who are prefer the PyCharm, there is no harm. But if you go for enterprise edition, then only you will have all the features. If you want to develop any web applications, you can find it in enterprise edition only. But in the community edition, you can write only Python code. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to go with the Visual Studio Code. Let me download this. And I'm running in a Windows system. And if based on your operating system, you can download the corresponding softwares. And let's move on to the next one, which is going to be PyCharm. And if you want to have any other installations, you can do this as well. So if you want a professional edition, so the professional is nothing but enterprise one. And by default, it will come up with 30 days free trial. Once trial is over, you will have to get a server, no license. Otherwise, you will not get all the features. So you have an open source one, that is a community edition, and it is purely for Python development only. And as of now, if you want to download and if you are preferring the PyCharm, you can download this one. So in the meantime, let me install the downloaded softwares. So I have my Python, which is 3.12.2 version, and I'm installing this one. So for example, by default, if any person's this checkbox is enabled, you should be having admin privileges. If you are using any office laptop, or if you don't have any admin permissions now, you can uncheck this one and you can run it. Okay. So either it is it is optional for you if you want to choose it, but always choose .ext extensions to your environment variable. So this will add you to an environment variable path. So I'm installing, I think. It is taking some time. In the meantime, let's try to install Visual Studio Code. Yeah. So this Python is installation is successful, and how you can confirm it is you just open your command prompt and give this command Python space hyphen uppercase V. So the current version which is installed is 3.12.2, which is got installed, the version which I installed. And now let me install my Visual Studio Code. You just have to accept the agreement. Then you just have to click on next, next, and next. Yes, Visual Studio Code also got installed. So Visual Studio Code will work as your IDE, an integrated development environment. Okay, so I'm just pinning into my taskbar, and let me just open it in a new window. So actually, these things come up because last time when I installed and I was opening this window, because of that, it was opening directly here. Otherwise, you'll be seeing the window like this, and you'll have a now welcome button. Okay, so with this, we are installed, we have installed our IDE, which is our Visual Studio Code, and we also installed our Python. So all things is available and you can start your development. You just have to click on a new terminal. And if you want to execute any of your Python code, you just have to execute your thing. And if you want to check your Python version also, you can do that here. Python, same command. Yeah. So few people, they faces this issue because they earlier they have installed a Python with a different version, or either the multiple Pythons has been installed in the corresponding system. So that is the time they're going to face this issue. All you have to do is you just have to search for manage app aliases. Here you try to look for Python. See here, we are having this one, and just off this one. After you disable this option and you try to reinstall, no, restart the system, then only it will work. For example, because all the changes it has to be applicable, so then only you have to restart your system. Then once it is got disabled and you restart the system, then you try to execute, the Python command. It will work for you. Okay, so that's it. So we're almost done with the software installation process. And but by default, we won't be having all the features, all the extensions which is required for the Visual Studio Code. And in order to get a faster development, and which helps you most of the times when you are coding, you might need to install few of the softwares or few of the extensions that is available in your Visual Studio Code. And I'll be listing you down. So the first thing you're gonna do that, you just have to come up to your extension section. The first thing, try to search for Python. So the Python, which is Sapuno, which was issued by Microsoft, this is the one. First, you have to install this one. So with this one, you'll get an inbuilt documentation. Anything you are trying to code it, so Python will always give you type hints. Okay, it will come up with the IntelliSense, all those things. So for example, if you want to see how it will help you out, it will help you out in most of the cases. Okay, so you will be installing this extension. No, this is the first extension you're gonna install it. And the next thing is you should install the docstring. Okay, so this is the one. So this will help you when you are working in a real-time project environment. So this will help you to to document your methods. For example, if you see here, this function, the function which is declared, defined here, and the line number 4, you are giving or what are the arguments it is expecting, and what are the key arguments, and what will be the return type. All those details by default it will provide for you. You just have to give triple quote under your function. It will generate one auto document string for you. So that is one of the major advantage when you are working in a real-time project. So once that is done, and we also have code runner. So this is the one. This will help me most of the times when I was having sample code and I just want to run it. I just don't want to execute Python command and everything. I just don't want to run entire file. I just want to select a particular piece of lines and I want to execute it. This will help me to do that. For example, if you want to show you here, so if you are selecting this and you just have to run it, that will help you to create it for you. For example, let me create one sample file here. So here normally you're just gonna create what your test.py file. So a Python file has been created and you just give a normal print statement. Okay, so if you want to run this Python file, what you have to do is normally you just have to come up here and you have to give Python command, Python space, and you have to give the file name test.py. Then it will entire Python file will be running. I don't want entire file to be run. I just want to run only the file, the lines of code which I have selected. You just have to select those lines of code and just take a right click and you will get a run code option. By default, this will not be available. So once you install that code runner extension and you just click on this run code and that will get executed. So this will help you when you are want to execute a small lines of code. But always make sure you are selecting all the dependencies as well when you are running the code. So that is one of the extension. And we also have one of the major extension which will help you most of the times, which is going to be getlens. So this will provide you all the details who has committed the changes and when he is committed the changes. I know all the details you're gonna get in it, you'll be letting to know. For example, if you see here, this piece of lines has been added by him on 4 years ago. All that entire Git history, you just have to place a cursor on the line, then you just get all the history of who has modified those changes. So that is one of the major one which will help me, most of the times. If I want to see who modified this code, I don't have to go and check in my GitHub repository. I just have to place a cursor and I'll be knowing it, who modified that change. And so other than that, most people recommend GitHub Copilot, as, for generative AI. Okay. So the problem with the GitHub Copilot is you need to register with it. And if you have registered, then only it will allow you to go to get a type hints, everything, all those things, and all the possibilities. You have to register for it, and you have to give GitHub integration and everything. There is a lot of process. You don't have to do all those process. We have one more generative AI, which is black box. So this is also one of the AI which almost works as which almost works as GitHub Copilot. It will give you auto generations, everything, code chart, you can do everything. So once it is installed for you, so since I have already installed it, and you'll get a B as a icon here. Once you click on that icon, you'll get into chart with a code chart. You just have to click on it and you'll get everything here. Just like a chat GPT, you can ask for details. For example, I want to write a code. And there is one more thing, and which is we normally use but I definitely recommend it, which is a formatter, black for code, no black formatter. So once you written any Python code and you want, the format code formatter, you just have to enable, you just have to install this one, and Python will help you to format the code, because indentation is very important in Python. And for example, if any code is not aligned properly, you just have to format the document and it gets formatted. For example, if I have this is my Python file, I just have to take a right click and see here format document. Once it is formatted document, you'll get that that option. If you want to format with any other options, you'll get this one. See, I have installed this black formatter and I select the formatter and the formatter will be applied. And with this, we are almost done with all the extensions which we required for the Python development. And so all these corresponding links I'll be providing in the video description again. Okay, so let's end the session now. Happy coding. Yes. After you disable this option and you try to reinstall, restart the system, then only it will work. For example, because all the changes it has to be applicable, so then only you have to restart your system. Then once it is got disabled and you restart the system, then you try to execute the Python command. It will work for you. Okay, so that's it. So we're almost done with the software installation process. And but by default, we won't be having all the features, all the extensions which is required for the Visual Studio Code. And in order to get a faster development, and which helps you most of the times when you are coding, you might need to install few of the softwares or few of the extensions that is available in your Visual Studio Code. And I'll be listing you down. So the first thing you're going to do that, you just have to come up to your extension section. The first thing, try to search for Python. So the Python, which is Sapuno, which was issued by Microsoft, this is the one. First, you have to install this one. So with this one, you'll get an inbuilt documentation. Anything you are trying to code it, so Python will always give you type hints. Okay, it will come up with the IntelliSense, all those things. So for example, if you want to see how it will help you out, it will help you out in most of the cases. Okay, so you will be installing this extension. This is the first extension you're going to install it. And the next thing is you should install the docstring. Okay, so this is the one. So this will help you when you are working in a real-time project environment. So this will help you to to document your methods. For example, if you see here, this function, the function which is declared, defined here, and the line number 4, you are giving or what are the arguments it is expecting, and what are the key arguments, and what will be the return type. All those